Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, it seems to be something is brewing in the crypto space. Some altcoins are selling off today, which is slightly unusual if Bitcoin isn't moving at all. So I'm just wondering if something is brewing in the background. Not sure what it is, but got the feeling something might be coming also for Bitcoin, obviously. Well, we kind of know that, right? Because we are still expecting a move down, ideally here in this wave 5. And that is obviously still the case as long as price stays below the Friday high, which was made at 26,450, which is our 50% retracement level and really the relevant level for a wave 4. So whenever we get these periods of very, very low volatility, then a big move is typically coming. Yeah, something is typically around the corner. You just don't know when exactly it's going to happen. It's typically not a Saturday. It's typically not a Sunday, maybe sometimes late on Sunday, certainly usually throughout the week and usually when the US stock market is open. That's typically the most volatile period in the crypto space, when the US stock market opens, especially the first couple of hours and then the hours before close. But at the moment, basically Bitcoin is coming together as forecasted, not much movement on the weekend, therefore I keep it short. So just hovering around the 23.6 fib level here. And as long as it's not doing anything crazy, which it can always do because Bitcoin can always surprise when we're dealing with price actions such as this one. But if it's not doing anything crazy, it can easily slip lower here into 24K next. Yeah, this is the next key target and next key support area that we're watching. Below 24K, for anybody who missed it before, haven't talked about it for a while, but if we zoom out a little bit, we have at $23,000 that volume profile, the VRVP, significant support. I expect it's the biggest, let's say, volume spike since Bitcoin has started to come down here. So that is typically at least where price should slow down. In my opinion, an area where, yeah, if we go down lower and the 24K level is not sufficient for completing this correction, 23K could be. So naturally, we still focus on lower, as we have been since July, since the high pretty much. And we are doing that until we see a first piece of evidence that this overall correction is over. So in the past few months, we've been waiting for, past few weeks, we've been waiting for lower prices, even though that was a rapid sell-off and stronger than expected. Doesn't really make a difference because so far we've been waiting for signals that the price is turning here as well. Yeah, not believed until we see it, and that is, I think, a good strategy. That's a good mindset in the current market, and hopefully that has guided you well. What we ultimately need to see is a 5-wave move up above resistance, followed by a 3-wave pullback. So I had a question from someone. Someone asked me a question about, okay, you know, what is the time frame you're doing that? You know, when 5 waves up, 3 waves down, what's the time frame? There isn't really a time frame. It always depends on the time frame you're trading. I mean, I'm usually using the 1 hour time frame, but the point is it needs to go above initial resistance. We need to see 5 waves above initial resistance and then a 3-wave move down. That will depend on the first move, how it looks like. For example, this would have to be the wave 1, you know, of a larger 5-wave move. I cannot believe this one because it's only 3 waves. So what I need to see is this as a wave 1 in case we get to a breakout. Yeah, then this would count as a wave 1. This would be a wave 2. It would need to show us a 3-wave move up in a 3rd wave then. Still only 3 waves, then 4, and then 5. Only then I've got a first 5-wave move on a relevant time frame. Then that it will be hard for a lot of people to sit on their hands here. And then the next reliable setup will be the 3-wave pullback afterwards to trade higher. Yeah, it's typically how it works. At least if you want to wait for reliable trade setups. I mean, you can trade anything. It's just that I would argue that price action like this has cost most people money. Yeah, if they tried to trade every single wave and maybe if they chased this move. And I know it's hard, but that's why we follow the process. And trading isn't easy. Also, analyzing isn't easy, but we've got to follow a process in place for exactly that purpose. And yeah, you can always chase, you know, you can always, but it's just not reliable. And we always have a responsibility here as well, which sometimes means, you know, we might miss a move. But in my opinion, what is more important Yeah, what is much more important than trying to catch every wave is capital preservation. That is absolutely key. Without capital, if it's all burned, if it's all gone, then you can't trade anymore. So trading safely always has to have priority, okay? Always. So especially in a bear market like this, okay, if it still is one for Bitcoin, I always question that because Bitcoin's price did double between November and March this year. But for altcoins, certainly. And capital preservation is just key. That's why I always say, okay, I keep positions tiny. If I buy an altcoin, I keep positions tiny. If you know, even for Bitcoin, I don't take an aggressive position until I have a confirmed setup at the moment, you know, and instead I just do a bit of accumulation until we have a decent setup where I can keep the stop tight. Yeah, that's it's all about waiting and patience. You know, this market is just not giving us any clean impulses right now. It's what it is, you know, and we haven't seen a clean impulse for a while in Bitcoin. So it takes patience. The situation overall hasn't changed. It still is that next low here that will give us much more clarity because I'm waiting after the next one. Do we see a corrective move up? If we do, then this will be a strong indication that we should see a drop to at least 20K. So it would be a potential short setup. If we see a 5-wave move up, then I will buy the pullback, a 3-wave pullback to trade higher. So I'm not going to do anything until I probably see the next move after the next low, because that will determine sort of the strategy. Okay, in parallel, I do accumulate BTC. Yeah, my core position or long-term position has grown this bear market, because one thing I did regret in the last bear market was my Bitcoin position, ETH position just wasn't big enough. So I've rectified that this bear market. And that's just sort of something I do on the side. You know, I couldn't care less if Bitcoin is at 25K, if it's at 22K, at 20K for accumulation and for building my core position. I couldn't care less, you know, because this is looking at the long-term view. You always need to think about, is your strategy and time frame aligned with what you actually do? I mean, are time frame and strategy aligned? If you accumulate for the next bull run, it doesn't really matter if you buy at 24 or 25K. Are you really that much bothered about the microstructures? So, you know, that's just what it's all about, saving your energy for the ride. You know, for the third wave, you need that energy for, instead of getting frustrated about those movements that we see here. It's much better. It's much more worth to save your energy for that third wave rally when it happens finally. Yeah, and then not much more to add to Bitcoin today here. One more thing to highlight today, we've got our member live stream at 5 p.m. UTC. Looking forward to it. If you're interested in joining, check the membership out. You can find the links in the video description. Today we cover the topic of identifying relevant price levels for a trading plan. There's always an educational topic, so you can watch all the previous tutorial live streams if you join as a channel member. As a gold member, you get additional signals and market updates, and as silver member, additional educational content that will keep you busy for many, many hours, if not more, well, days. And you get access to our chat room. So maybe we'll see you there. I know it's a boring market, and I appreciate everybody who's still here. So, okay. Have a great Sunday. Thanks all for watching. Bye-bye.